Good morning, students. Today we are going to start chapter 10.2 import trade. Earlier to this, we just come to know in the unit 9 about the internal trade. In unit 10, in the beginning 10.1, we just did international businesses or international trade. Today we will do the two types of international trade. One of that is import trade and another is export trade. Today we will discuss that what is the import trade basically and what are the procedures to do an import trade and what is the procedure also. Import trade is an important tool for the economic development of development countries. What is import trade? It is an important tool for the economic development of development countries, means that are already developed for that and at the developing stage. For those countries, import trade is an important tool. Let's see the meaning in the toolkit. It is given over here. It refers to the purchasing of goods and services from another country and bringing them into its own country. Import trade is also helpful to maintain the standard of living of a country, because when we just bring the goods from that is a specialist one of the other country, it will helpful us to raise our standard of living. Let's see what the author has given. When the trader of one country purchases the goods from trader of another country, this is known as import trade. A trader cannot import the goods in a manner he wants, but he has to allow a fixed procedure. This procedure is called the import trade. So the procedure of importing the goods is known as import trade. Please underline, you may get the 1 mark question. What is import trade? What is the procedure of import trade? And who are importer? Importer means the person who imports, or the country is which import the goods, they are the importers. And who exports, the country which export the goods, they are the exporters. As far as the procedure is concerned, it is one of the most important topic, and please mark in make a mental note as well as in your books as well. Surely you will get the 6 mark or 5 mark question in your paper, whether the procedure of import trade or whether the procedure of export trade. So as it is the second last chapter of the syllabus, and tomorrow we will do the last chapter, that is our export trade procedure. You have to learn both of the procedures so well that you will be able to attempt the 5 or 6 mark question that will surely you get in the paper. So let's see what is the procedure of the import trade. The first of all, trade inquiry. Yes, whenever you have to import the goods, first of all the inquiry has been made. As soon as a trader thinks of importing the goods, he make the trade inquiry. First of all, he collects the information about the availability of his requirement and name of the country and the exporter he has to deal with. About which things he has to query, please underline, he collects the information. He query about, collects the information about which? About the availability of the goods. He just get the information about the country. He just get the information or inquiry about the exporter with whom it is to be deal. And he can collect the information from the agents of the exporter in India, other importers and trade commissioners of foreign countries. After collecting the information about the exporter, he contacts them and gather the information from them about the price of the product. What information he will get from the exporter? About the price of the product, about the type of the product, about the term of the payment. And after satisfying himself about all such information, importer has to take the final decision. So please read every aspect so thoroughly and intensively that what are the inquiries made by the importer first. Whenever an importer wants to import the goods, he just search the exporter in the other country. After searching the importer and the availability of the goods, he just inquire about the price of the product, type of the product, term of the product, etc. And after satisfying all his queries, he just take the decision to import the goods. Now, the second step is obtaining import license. There are certain products are prohibited to be imported. In order to import the certain product, one requires an import license. What he requires? He requires the import license. For taking the import license, an application to the controller of import and export is to be submitted, and along with this application the statements are to be submitted. What are these statements? Please mark: receipt of deposit of license fee, certificate of income tax department, certificate attested by the chartered accountant giving the detail of the import goods of the previous year. If the controller of import and export is satisfied with the information provided by the importer, he issue an import license. So the first step is of doing the queries first, and in the second step, what he do? He just obtain the license. After obtaining the license, the foreign exchange has to be obtained. After receiving the license, foreign exchange means the currency is to be in by which country you have to deal, and for the free sale and purchase the exchange is to be obtained. Placing an order or indent. Please mark this point. You may get the 1 mark question of the first line, that what is an indent. Placing an order of the goods in the language of the international trade is known as indent. What is an indent? Placing of order in the international language is known as indent. And the indent just contains the type of the product, name of the product, quality, price, packing, time of delivery, insurance instruction, everything is to be mentioned. Please mark, there are 2 types of indent you ever find. The indent are of 2 types. One is open indent. In this, a very little information is mentioned, like the quantity of the product, type of product, etc. And exporter, all the rest is left with the exporter to decide. But another is the closed indent. Closed indent, in which all the information regarding is to be mentioned, means nothing can be modified in this. Whatever the information is to be there, that is shown in the closed indent. So please mark it. You may get the in between question, carry 1 mark, that what is an indent and what are the types of indent, what is closed indent, what is open indent. Sending a letter of credit, that is LC. The letter of credit is when the in the international trade, exporter and importer are known to each other. They are not known to each other because they belongs to the different countries. So might be they have some doubts in their mind. So in this satisfaction, to make the payment secure, a letter of credit has been sent. The importer sends a letter of credit and it is issued by the importer's bank. This letter of credit just makes sure whatever the payment is to be made by the importer to exporter will remain secure. Sending the letter of credit, after that, in which while sending the letter of the credit, see what are of 2 types. It's documentary letter of credit and clean letter of credit. Documentary letter of credit, when bank adds the clause in the letter of credit that all the certificate of organization, place, etc. will be sent by the exporter to the bank issuing the letter of credit, then it is called a documentary letter. This method is also known as the documentary credit. And the another one is the clean letter of credit. It is a letter of credit in which the clause is not added, is called a clean letter of credit. Under this document related to the goods sent directly to the importers. And this letter of credit is issued by those customers only who are very much reliable to the bank. So please mark the in between question. You may get that what is a letter of credit, what is a documentary letter of credit, what is a clean letter of credit. So don't get confused whenever you get any 1 mark question, whenever you get any in between question. So read it thoroughly, mark star against these points. You might have the 1 mark question or the short question from in between for explaining these terms. After having the letter of credit, the exporter just do the arrangement and shipment by for the goods, and the shipment is to be done by the exporter. So he will just do this kind of arrangement, and after having arrangement, he just obtain the document of the title. What is the document of the title? See, there are two ways of sending the document related to the titles of the goods to importer. One, if there is no term and condition related to the payment, then all the documents are directly sent to the importer. But when second thing is that if there is any term and condition related to the payment, then the document related to the goods are sent to the bank. As soon as the importer get the information for the arrival of the documents from the bank, he just makes the arrangement for receiving the document, and he can make the payment, or whatever the payment is to be made by him. It may be the cash payment or it may be the document against payment. Two type of payment is there. Please underline cash payment. Cash payment means when the payment is done in cash only. But what is the document against payment? It is then making the payment document can be collected. Otherwise, they cannot collect the document. The importer can collect the document from the bank. I hope you people are understand. One is exporter there, one is importer there. Whenever the importer just dispatch the goods or arrange the shipment for the goods from one country to another countries, before that he just send the documents to the authorized bank that is related to the importer. But importer just can get those documents only when he makes the payment, because unless the importer have the documents, he cannot release his goods from the port. Without documents, the importer cannot release the goods from the port. So that's why he has to obtain the documents from the bank. And how he obtain the documents that are known as the document against acceptance, that is the payment is to be made first to the bank, and then documents has been accepted from there. After that, the appointment of the clearing agent. Appointment of the clearer. After receiving all the concerned document, the importer make the arrangement for the delivery of the goods, and importer, if he wants to arrange taking delivery of the goods by himself, or appoint a clearing agent for him. And clearing the goods, after that he just make the goods clear from the port area. And what are the procedure? There is a different procedure. You may get the small 3-mark question that what is the procedure of clearing the goods from the port or by the importer. You may get this separate question as well. Instead of import procedure or export procedure, you might have 2 questions of carry 3 marks. The one you may get what is the clearing procedure of the goods by the importer, or the second question you may get what are the documents required. You may get the 2 questions carry 3 mark each, but in total you will get 6 mark no doubt from these 2 chapters. But it may be the one in between question as well. So how the goods has been cleared from the port by payment, making the payment to the custom duties first, and then payment of the dock charges is to be done, endorsement for the delivery. When the clearing agent now get the bill of lading, the bill of lading should be very much clear to you as a short question as well. And now the clearing agent get the bill of lading signed by the officer of the office by the shipping company. This is called the endorsement of the delivery. The shipping company officer sign when the freight of the ship and the other expenses related to the ship has been paid. Then he will just get it signed, and after that the delivery has been taken. 1 point, demurrage, please underline. The goods should be picked immediately as soon as the acceptance is received from the authorities. If it is not done when a specific time limit, the fine is charged, which is called demurrage. Please underline demurrage. From the 1 mark point of view, you may get the question in the paper that what is demurrage. If the goods has been collected in time, then okay. If it is not collected in time, then a penalty is to be imposed on the importer, and that penalty is known as the demurrage. Next is the sale of goods before taking the delivery. Sometimes importers sell the goods before taking its delivery. At that time, what the purchaser will do, he just have the delivery of the goods directly from the port. Suppose I am an importer, you are a buyer from me. What we are dealing, you just purchasing the goods, and I just told you that the goods are to be exported on this particular port area. You may get the goods directly, because instead of first the goods just coming to my place, and hopefully it may be the chance your place is more close to the port area, so directly we can just dispatch the goods to you at your place, to who is the purchaser of that good. So sale of the goods before taking the delivery can be done as well. And keeping the goods in bonded, yes, bonded means there are the godowns there in the port area. Sometimes the goods can be kept there. Here the one term is there, that is the dock warrant. It should be very much clear to you. The officer of the warehouse gives a receipt of receiving the goods to the clearing agent, which is called the dock warrant. Loading of the goods. After that, after getting the dock warrant and making all the dues and whatever the requirements are to be done, after doing all those, the goods has been loaded, and it is RR's receipt has been taken. RR receipt is the railway receipt, because you ever seen the goods has been in the local area from one place to another place, it is just sent through weather, or when the goods are small in number, then it is sent by the road transport, lorries and all. But usually when these kind of goods import in bulk from the other country, it is just used to carry from one place to another place with the help of railways. So railway RR means railway receipt has to be maintained. And after that, taking of the delivery from the railway or the transport, or whatever the transport is using, you are, whether it's a private transport company or whether the railway, that goods has been taken, delivered by the importer from those authorities. And payment of the octroi duty. When the goods reach at the town, or the local administration imposes the tax on that, that is the octroi duty, and some goods are exempt from this octroi duty. And whenever the condition is, whatever the condition is, after paying the octroi duty, the importer can carry the goods to his godown only. If we talk whatever the documents we have studied in this chapter, what are the documents used? The first one is your import license, letter of credit, bill of lading, invoice, bill of entry, dock challan, dock warrant, indent, bills of exchange, marine insurance policy, advice letter to import trade, bill of site, delivery order, and railway receipt. So these are the various documents that is used in the import trade. And this is all about the complete procedure of an import trade. Whenever an importer or an importer country wants to import goods from the another country, the country has to follow this complete procedure. Without following this procedure, none of the country can import the goods. They cannot skip any of the step from the procedure that we have discussed. So whenever you get the long question, you cannot say that, ma'am, we can write the half steps, we can write few steps. No, each and every step is very much important. Whenever you get a long question related to the procedure, you have to briefly explain each and every point. But it should be, you cannot skip any step, but you can reduce the step, you can reduce your word limit. You have to elaborate in a briefing manner. Do briefing, but it is very much compulsory to explain each and every point. It is very much compulsory. So it is all about for the day. Now I'm requesting all the students, if you have any query, please raise your hand and have a query session.